Welcome to old Buddhist philosophy. October does not enter softly, as a shadow of September, nor does it rush in with noise. It arrives like a sacred tide, carrying with it unseen messages wrapped in silence, yet vibrating with power. This month is not merely a measure of days and nights. It is a living scripture, a cosmic sutra unfolding in the sky above and the heart within. Every sunrise writes a verse. Every falling leaf carries a symbol, and the universe, in its infinite patience, arranges signs along your path so that you may awaken. In the teachings of Buddhism, there are no accidents. All phenomena arise with causes and conditions. Numbers, too, are not random. They are energies, living forces whispering truths for those who dare to listen. October stands as a month of turning, where the heat of past cycles cools, where stillness deepens, where balance is sought between endings and beginnings. Nostradamus once wrote of times when hidden rhythms would shape the future in ways the unawakened could not see. Baba Vanga spoke of signs scattered like seeds, waiting for those with open eyes and quiet hearts. And here, in the language of numerology, those seeds bloom into sacred vibrations. 6 powerful numbers shine this month, each a gate, each a path, each a teaching, and among them, a hidden master vibration rests like a jewel beneath still water, waiting to reveal its gift of prosperity and flow to those who walk with mindfulness. This is not fortune-telling, nor superstition. This is the universe in dialogue with itself, speaking through patterns, reminding us that abundance is not seized but invited, that wisdom is not taught but remembered, and that destiny is not imposed but revealed. Just as the Noble Eightfold Path guides the seeker step by step into awakening, so too do these vibrations guide us through choices, challenges, and transformations. They are not loud, they are not forceful, they arrive in small repetitions, on clocks, on signs, in moments you almost overlook, until the moment you stop, breathe, and realize they are calling you. October's energy is rich and layered. It holds the weight of cycles closing and the promise of new doors opening. It asks you to release what no longer serves and to step forward with faith into spaces that feel both uncertain and luminous. It is the season of letting go, but also the season of receiving, the perfect balance of impermanence and renewal. The Buddha reminded us, everything changes, nothing remains without change. These numbers echo that truth, not as warnings but as blessings, as gentle teachers guiding you to walk lighter, clearer, and more aligned with your true path. So before we enter their rhythm, sit with this moment, allow the noise of the world to soften, and hear instead the subtle pulse beneath it all, the language of the cosmos, written in numbers, unfolding now in October. They are not digits, they are vibrations. They are not predictions, they are invitations. They are the secret codes of abundance, balance, and awakening, already inscribed into the path you are walking. The only question is, will you open your heart wide enough to receive what has been waiting for you all along? Number 88. The infinite abundance. The vibration of 88 does not merely appear, it arrives like a golden river that refuses to end, flowing across lifetimes, carrying within it both the promise and the responsibility of abundance. Its form, 2 circles joined and mirrored, is not accidental but deeply symbolic, infinity folded upon itself, a cycle within a cycle, a reminder that the universe works in repeating rhythms. In the world of numerology, the number 8 alone represents power, achievement, and balance. Doubled as 88, it expands beyond human limits and steps into the eternal. It is the sign of prosperity, not bound by one life or one effort, but prosperity born of alignment with the eternal law of karma, echoing back what we sow into the great cosmic field. In Buddhist philosophy, 88 resonates with the Noble Eightfold Path, magnified right speech, right action, right mindfulness, and all its companions walking side by side, doubled in intensity, doubled in wisdom. It is as if the universe whispers that the path must not only be walked, but lived fully twice over, with every thought, word, and deed aligned. The karmic echo of 88 is powerful. What is planted in kindness returns multiplied, and what is planted in greed is also returned multiplied. Thus, 88 teaches that the wealth we seek outside must be born first within, abundance of compassion, discipline, and gratitude. Mystics and seers of old understood this number's depth. Nostradamus wrote cryptically of repeating cycles, of humanity forced to relearn the same lessons until harmony was found. Baba Vanga too spoke of ages when humanity would awaken to the truth that prosperity is not material alone, but spiritual, that fortune without balance is emptiness, and that wealth without compassion is a burden heavier than poverty. 88 reflects their vision, reminding us that prosperity untethered from ethics will never endure, but prosperity grounded in harmony will ripple across generations. When 88 rises on your path, it is never by chance. It appears as a mirror to your discipline, a sign that your work, if carried with balance, is ready to multiply like echoes across eternity. It tells you that the cycle is ripe, that what you have nurtured in silence is ready to expand in visible form. Yet it also warns with equal strength: abundance is not free, and abundance without alignment becomes a chain rather than a blessing. The double eights do not simply give, they measure, they balance, they weigh every choice. This number also carries a quiet invitation to shift perception. Too often, abundance is imagined as gold, possessions, and recognition. But 88, in its wisdom, teaches that true abundance is harmony itself, the balance between effort and surrender, between ambition and contentment, between strength and compassion. When this harmony is achieved, material wealth flows naturally, but it no longer enslaves. Instead, it serves as a tool for good, a bridge between worlds, a channel of generosity. So when 88 calls, it does not ask only for celebration, it asks for reflection. It asks whether your path is aligned with the laws of karma, whether your actions echo with compassion, whether your heart beats in rhythm with discipline and gratitude. And so the question it leaves behind is timeless and eternal. Will you chase the illusion of wealth that fades like dust, or will you step into the infinite abundance that arises when spirit and matter flow together as one? Number 11, the gateway of light. The number 11 does not arrive quietly. It stands tall, like two radiant pillars carved by the cosmos itself, a doorway to higher realms, a threshold where the earthly and the divine meet. It is the master number of illumination, shimmering with the energy of seers, visionaries, and mystics who have always known that life is more than what the eyes perceive. To gaze upon 11 is to stand before a portal, a reminder that there are truths whispered only to those willing to listen with the heart rather than the mind. Its form, twin ones side by side, is not mere repetition. It is the balance of duality, the sacred union of opposites, the alignment of shadow and light. In the language of numerology, 11 is the vibration of insight, intuition, and divine clarity. It does not offer the answers of logic, but the visions of the soul. It is the spark that awakens in dreams, the shiver that runs down the spine when the truth is near, the sudden knowing that defies explanation. Those attuned to this number find themselves walking between worlds, one foot in the seen and the other in the unseen, like ancient sages who could read the patterns of stars and the whispers of silence. 11 is the bridge between the known and the unknowable, the human and the eternal. Buddhist wisdom reflects this truth in its teaching of the middle path. Just as 11 stands as two pillars, so too does the Dharma remind us that life is not extremes, but balance, the merging of effort with surrender, silence with speech, wisdom with compassion. To walk the path of 11 is to walk that middle way, guided not by outward noise, but by the subtle flame of inner clarity. It is to realize that enlightenment does not descend from above, but rises gently from within, like a lotus breaking through the mud to find the light. Throughout history, the great prophets and visionaries have carried the essence of this number. Nostradamus spoke of hidden messengers, those who would come forth not with weapons, but with visions, guiding humanity through its darkest trials. Baba Vanga echoed this when she foretold that true guidance would not come from power, but from light born through struggle, from voices that reveal what others cannot yet see. 11 is this prophecy embodied, the awakening of vision when the world is blind, the emergence of light when all seems shadowed. When 11 appears in your life, it is never random. It is a signal that synchronicities are at work, that the veil between worlds is thin, and that you are being asked to trust your intuition above all else. It may arrive as repeating patterns on a clock, as dreams that feel more real than waking life, or as coincidences too precise to dismiss. Each one is the universe tapping gently on your shoulder, asking, will you listen? Will you believe that your inner knowing is enough? And so 11 leaves you with a question, as all sacred numbers do. It does not demand, it invites. The question is this: will you continue to search outward for answers that fade, or will you finally turn inward, to the eternal light already burning within, and step courageously through the gateway of your own soul? Number 17, the star of renewal. 17 rises like a solitary star over the vast horizon of night, its light subtle yet unyielding, a beacon guiding weary travelers back to faith, strength, and the quiet promise of renewal. In its presence, one feels not the weight of endings, but the assurance that every ending is the seed of a new beginning. This number is a karmic vibration, a mirror of the universal truth that trials are not curses, but chisels shaping the soul into resilience. The path of 17 is not one of ease, but of victory earned through endurance. It is the number of those who have stumbled, fallen, and been scarred, only to discover that the very wounds they carried became symbols of strength, shields of wisdom, and proof of survival. In the sacred language of numerology, 17 carries the energy of perseverance woven with divine protection. It is a reminder that life's heaviest storms are not punishments, but initiations, passages that lead you closer to your highest self. Its essence whispers that no soul is measured by how it avoids the shadows, but by how it learns to shine through them. Like a star that burns brightest against the backdrop of darkness, 17 assures that the challenges you face are not there to break you, but to reveal the brilliance hidden within you all along. Buddhist wisdom echoes this beautifully. The Buddha taught that suffering is not an enemy, but the fertile ground in which compassion, insight, and true awakening are born. Without the rains, the lotus cannot bloom. Without the darkness, the star cannot be seen. 17 is this teaching embodied, a reminder that life's trials do not diminish you, they deepen you, carving out space within the heart for greater love, greater clarity, and greater peace. To walk the path of 17 is to accept pain, not as an ending, but as a passage to something luminous. History's great seers knew this truth well. Nostradamus spoke of epochs where humanity would be tested by fire, famine, and fear, only to emerge with wisdom that could not have been forged in comfort. Baba Vanga, too, spoke often of renewal, that when civilizations trembled and collapsed, they gave way to new ages of growth, light, and collective strength. 17 carries the same prophecy within its vibration, assuring that no shadow is permanent, no winter eternal, and no loss without the promise of rebirth. When this sacred number crosses your path, it is a sign that you are being held under a divine star, one that refuses to extinguish no matter how heavy the night may seem. You may see it in repeating patterns, in dreams, or in the moments when you feel your strength waning, but somehow find the courage to continue. That is 17 speaking to you, a voice that says, "Rise again, for your scars are not chains, but wings," proof that you are ready to ascend higher than before. And so, 17 leaves you with a question to ponder beneath its eternal glow. Will you see your scars as wounds that hold you back, or will you wear them as stars etched upon your soul, shining proof that you have endured, transformed, and are ready to rise renewed? Number 5. The call of change. 5 arrives like the restless wind, untamed and undeniable, a force that shakes the branches of life to remind us that stillness is only temporary. It is the vibration of motion, of sudden turns, of doors that swing open where walls once stood. In numerology, 5 embodies freedom, adventure, and the courage to walk into the unknown without a map. It is the number that refuses to let you stay stagnant, for it knows that to resist change is to resist life itself. The pulse of 5 beats in every shift of season, every falling leaf, every sunrise that breaks the night. It does not come to unsettle you, it comes to liberate you. In Buddhist teaching, impermanence is the very heart of wisdom. Everything changes, everything transforms, and it is in this flow that we find liberation. To cling is to suffer, but to release is to breathe in the truth of freedom. Number 5 embodies this Dharma. It does not fear endings, for it knows they are beginnings in disguise. Like a river, it bends and breaks through rock, carrying us forward, even when we long to remain where we are. 5 reminds you that change is not an enemy, but a sacred teacher, a guide toward a life you cannot yet see, but are destined to live. The seers of history also carried this message. Nostradamus, in his cryptic writings, spoke of upheavals that shattered nations and individuals alike, yet always these storms were precursors to rebirth. Baba Vanga, too, spoke of disruption as preparation, of the shaking of old foundations so that new wisdom could rise from the rubble. 5 is the echo of these prophecies, arriving not to warn of destruction, but to remind you that transformation is the doorway to destiny. Imagine standing on the edge of a great cliff, the wind of 5 at your back. It urges you to take the leap, to step beyond fear, beyond comfort, beyond the illusion of safety. Though your mind trembles, your soul knows the truth. The unknown is not emptiness, but possibility. 5 is the unseen hand rearranging the path, pulling away what is stale and heavy, and opening space for the unexpected blessings that await. It asks you to trust not in certainty, but in the unfolding rhythm of life. This number carries both challenge and gift. Change rarely comes gently. It rattles, it uproots, it demands courage. But within its turbulence lies freedom, the kind of liberation that cannot be found in routine or repetition. 5 calls you to dance with impermanence, to welcome the shifting winds as messengers of destiny. Its lesson is that nothing real can be lost, only transformed, and that every ending is the seed of a beginning your soul has long awaited. So when the number 5 begins to follow you in signs, in moments, in synchronicities, ask yourself, with open heart, will I cling to what is passing out of fear, or will I step into the winds of change and trust that they are carrying me exactly where I am meant to be? Number 35, the silent builder. 35 does not rush like fire, nor scatter like the wind. It arrives with the weight of stone, the quiet strength of a foundation laid deep beneath the earth. It is the vibration of growth that endures, of vision that takes form, not in sudden flashes, but through patient shaping. In numerology, 3 is the creative spark, the flame of expression, and 5 is the restless wind of change. Together they form 35, a force that blends imagination with transformation, building something lasting from the raw material of life's shifting seasons. This is not a number of collapse, but of construction, where even chaos is reshaped into order through discipline and wisdom. In Buddhist teaching, this vibration reflects the practice of mindfulness, the art of building moment by moment, breath by breath. Just as a temple is raised stone by stone, so too is a life of awareness, formed in silence and intention. 35 whispers that strength is not in speed, but in steadiness. It teaches that to create something enduring, one must be willing to return again and again to the present, shaping it with care, anchoring the spirit in what is real, rather than in the illusions of haste or desire. The seers of old spoke of this power. Nostradamus described architects of destiny, those who would lay structures so strong that time itself could not erode them. Baba Vanga foresaw builders of legacies, souls whose works would ripple into future generations, not through fleeting words or temporary wealth, but through foundations rooted in purpose. 35 carries this same prophecy, a reminder that what you create today is not just for yourself, but for those who walk after you, for the silent inheritance you leave behind. It is also a number of resilience. Storms will come, winds will shift, yet the builder does not despair. Where others see ruin, 35 sees material. Where others feel endings, it feels beginnings in disguise. Like a sculptor chiseling stone, it shapes hardship into strength, uncertainty into vision, endings into new paths. This number knows that nothing is wasted, for every trial becomes part of the structure, every scar another layer of endurance. To walk with 35 is to carry both creativity and patience, to weave imagination into discipline. It is the call to create, not for applause, but for eternity. It tells you that you have within you the architect's strength, the vision to see beyond the present, and the discipline to shape dreams into temples that withstand the test of time. So when 35 appears before you, ask yourself, am I building fleeting towers that crumble in storms, or am I laying foundations so deep that even the winds of change cannot shake them? Bonus number 66, the divine harmony. 66 does not arrive with the force of thunder. It arrives as a song, soft, yet unshakable, vibrating through the soul, like the chant of monks in a hidden temple, where the single 6 speaks of love, responsibility, and balance. The doubled 66 magnifies this energy into a higher calling. It is no longer just about nurturing a household or protecting those close to you. It becomes the vow to extend compassion beyond borders, to live for something greater than the self. In this it becomes a number of service, of healing, of unity. In numerology, 6 is often seen as the caretaker, the one who weaves harmony in the midst of struggle. Doubled as 66, it transforms into a master vibration of divine responsibility, where love becomes not only personal, but universal. It is the echo of the Bodhisattva vow in Buddhism, the promise to return again and again, not for one's own liberation alone, but for the awakening of all beings. The power of 66 is this sacred reminder that wholeness is not found in isolation, but in connection, in choosing to carry others as you rise. History and prophecy also whisper this truth. Nostradamus wrote of eras when humanity would be forced to rediscover unity in order to survive its own divisions, and Baba Vanga foresaw communities built not on fear or greed, but on shared compassion, where harmony itself became the strength of the people. 66 is this future shining in symbolic form, urging you to align your path with love, so vast it dissolves separation. It is also a vibration of healing, where conflict has broken bonds. 66 appears as the mender, the gentle hand that weaves harmony back into the fabric of life. It teaches that success is not measured only by wealth or recognition, but by the peace you create in others' lives, the love you leave behind in every step. It calls you to embody compassion, not as a passing act, but as a way of being. To see 66 is to be invited into a higher rhythm. It asks you to balance responsibility with grace, to honor the sacred duty of love without being consumed by burden. To realize that the act of giving is also the act of receiving, like two circles entwined, it reflects the truth that harmony is never one-sided. It is the endless exchange of kindness that binds all things together. And so, when 66 crosses your path, recognize it as more than coincidence. It is the universe reminding you that love is not weakness, compassion is not sacrifice, and service is not loss. It is strength, it is abundance, it is destiny. It is the call to live not for separation, but for wholeness. And so the circle closes, yet not as an ending, but as a return to wholeness. The numbers of September 88, 11, 17, 5, 35 and the hidden jewel of 66 do not simply pass by like dates on a calendar. They are living vibrations, timeless currents guiding you toward your own awakening. Each one speaks in its own voice. 88 flowing with infinite abundance, 11 opening gateways of light, 17 rising as the star of endurance, 5 calling you into change, 35 grounding you as the silent builder, and 66 reminding you of divine harmony. Together they form a scripture written not on paper, but within the pulse of the universe, within the rhythm of your very soul. Buddhism teaches that the greatest treasures are not sought in distant lands, but uncovered in the quiet temple of your own heart. These numbers are not commands, but reflections, signs that the universe is in dialogue with you, offering guidance at every turn. Nostradamus spoke of patterns that repeat until we learn their truth. And Baba Vanga reminded us that the whispers of fate are always near, waiting for us to listen. This September is not ordinary. It is a sacred alignment, a wheel turning with intention, a call to awaken. The map has been laid before you, not to control your path, but to remind you that destiny is not chaos, it is rhythm, it is harmony, it is eternity flowing through each choice you make. And so, beloved soul, as you step forward, remember this: the numbers do not merely guide your path, they reveal that you are the path. Every action, every breath, every step is already part of the eternal dance. The question is not whether the numbers will speak. They already are. The question is, will you listen?